So this rant may come off as dumb or hypocritical, but this is something I kind of wanted to talk about. Anyways, if you've been in the MLP Next Generation community for well over a year or two, you've probably noticed some glaringly obvious cliches that are used constantly, with little variation. Now, before people start shit, I just want to point something out. 1. Yes, I am aware that my next generation is not the most creative. I never said that and never will say that because it is not true. My next generation is almost as cliche as many others. But the reason I never changed anything about it is because if you know me well, you would know that I'm a person who's very reluctant to change. I'm not a person who really likes when things I like change. I've had my next generation similar to the way it is now for almost 2 years, and I've honestly never changed anything about it because of how much I liked it and didn't want it to change too. I know not every next generation ever is cliche and / or has cliches. There are some next generations I know that are honestly really good, have little to no cliches, and try their best to be original. However, there's one next generation I know that kind of breaks that. Macablis, next generation on DeviantArt. They have the typical orange licorn Twilight kid, however in their next general, from what I remember, her ship isn't Flashlight, it's Sunburst and Twilight. That's already very original. If I'm being honest, despite all I've said in this unintentionally long intro, next generation cliches can actually be enjoyable if done correctly. Macablis on DeviantArt is a good example of that. Anyways, I'm sorry for the really long intro and I was probably rambling a lot. But anyways, let's get on to the actual rant. A lot of the next generation cliches I or my friends have noticed is Flashlight, and their kid is likely an orange licorn. Luster Dawn being the daughter of Starlight and Sunburst. A cheese pie kid having heterochromia. I think that's what it was called. Basically two different eye colors. Sparity. Honestly, this ship is toxic as hell. There's a ton more ships, like Sawyer and Dash, Caramel Jack. If I remember correctly, someone said they had never interacted, ever. Fluttercord, Sunset Streak, Rumbaloo, Tender Bloom, and Sweetie Mesh / Buttonball. Those are all I can remember at the moment. Flashlight daughters, but one is a villain and is out to kill the other who got wings / crowned. CMC kids being CMC members and no one else. Children having same talents as their parents. Flashlight daughter versus Starburst daughter. Reformed Chrysalis with her kid going to Fluttershy. Fluttercord kids having 0% of Discord's personality. The kid of the main six having the same backstory as the main six. History repeating itself cause people just can't be bothered to make a good story. Luna's kid recreating the whole Nightmare Moon bullshit. The main six becoming the new elements of harmony after fighting off a villain of some sort. Pinky's kid always having curly hair with pink plus brown. Rainbow's kids being the Wonderbolt. STRAIGHT. Rarity's kid essentially doing the exact same thing as she once did with no explaining. Basically whole thing is the kids are carbon copies of their parents. Applejack kid likes apples way too much. Chrysalis kid is evil and gets reformed. Twee kid has an Ursa Minor Spike sidekick. Mixing colors to make next generation kids instead of being creative with color choices. Straight up fusions. And many, many more. These are what me and my friends could find / remember, and from counting, I've done about 14 out of 30 of those, the ships being counted individually. However, my next generation has some things that I don't think are as cliche. However, I'd like to explain something first. In my counting, I didn't include Rarity's kid essentially doing the exact same thing as she once did with no explaining. However, I do this well everything until no explaining. I didn't include it because I actually gave a reason for Rarity's kid having the same job as her. Rarity is constantly busy in the school of friendship, so she has little time to make dresses on weekdays. Knowing how busy she is, she essentially gave the position of dressmaking to her children, confident that they won't let her down. As said before, this is why the main six are not shown during the gala story. Anyways, sorry for the long explanation, and now let me get into the other thing I wanted to explain. I am aware my next generation is not the most original, not even close. But at the same time I believe that it is not the most cliche either. For the next section in this video, I am going to explain some original things in my next generation, at least in my opinion. The designs started getting better after I stopped mixing colors. The name Harmony is actually a nickname assigned to a Flashlight kid, instead of a Fluttercord kid. My Flashlight kids don't have Sentry in their name. I get it, they were probably named after Flash, but everyone kept doing it to the point that it started getting annoying and repetitive. Most of them also look almost exactly the same or similar. The amount of LGBTQ characters and ships compared to many other next generations. I find most of my names to be somewhat original. Obviously, Silver Shy and Sunset Gem are exceptions to that. My Rainbow Dash kids aren't Wonderbolts, and a few more that I can't really remember at the moment. So, as I'm running out of ways to end this rant, I'll just say again that I know that my next generation isn't entirely original, but at the same time, it isn't entirely cliche. I am aware that this was kind of a dumb and slash or hypocritical rant, as my next generation also has some glaringly obvious cliches in it. Thanks for watching me rant about complete bullshit again, and until next video, I'll see you later.